A little about ellipses. Ellipses are what one might describe as a squashed circle. And the reason they are very important to study and learn how to draw is that anything that is circular or cylindrical in nature, at its core, not out in Mother Nature per se, but anything that is cylindrical or circular, when in perspective, will appear as an ellipse. And it's very important to learn how to draw them, as well as just some of the basic characteristics, because they can be kind of tricky. And here's a little bit about how I go about teaching it. So, the squash circle. Just to sort of get an idea of how to get familiar with an ellipse. It helps to break it down into a long axis and a short axis. And the ellipse will pass through these 4 points of these two axes. What I do want to make sure I do is know that the distance, these distances are equal. So I'm doing a quick measure, and like usual, I'm off. So, and once I start drawing, it sort of becomes obvious too. To begin with, although I want to make sure you don't mistakenly think that drawing a football shape is the way to make a final ellipse. I think it's a good way to sort of start learning. So I'm going to make an upper arc through these points and a lower arc. And that's sort of how I'm going to begin. I am also going to do what I'm going to do sort of a left side arc. As well as a right side arc. And what you'll start to see is that when I get to the end, the point of the long axis, it doesn't come to a point and then quickly change directions like a football would. But it continues going and never really stops. And the rate at which the arc sort of changes increases the closer it gets to the long axis points. That is to say that the arc will sort of be going along flat, and it will increase in its curve towards that point. That's important to know when we're creating ellipses for cylindrical objects. Because most of the effect of the curve will happen over here at these ends. So like I say, it is, if I did one this way, if I did one and started out with a football shape like that, I do want to make sure that I come back and round out the long axis points, these guys. Once you sort of start getting comfortable with that, it is just good practice to make ellipses of all sorts of heights and widths and angles as well. You can have a really skinny ellipse, and you can have an ellipse that's almost circular. And this is all going to come in handy, extremely handy, when we start drawing cylindrical items, any bottles or glasses or vases and vases, both of those. Anything that's cylindrical in nature will be based upon sort of a series of visible and what is sort of invisible ellipses. At the bottom of this cylinder is an ellipse as well, just that we can't see that backside. I think I need some more coffee. But there you have it. Practice the ellipse.